I finally have it, guys. The RTX 5070. Well, this is gonna be my fourth installment to the 50 series collection that I have. At this point, Nvidia better just sponsor me or something, you know what I mean? So except the 5090 and then the 5050. Oh yeah, and then the 5070 Ti, I have everything else in my collection right now. So yeah, stay tuned for more benchmarks on the 5070 as well. This is the most used 50 series GPU in the lineup. So, and like Jensen said, this is the equivalent of a 4090 with 12 GB of VRAM, which is total bullshit. We already know by now. It's been a year since this thing came out. But yeah, it's good to have this in my collection and check it out. So I'm gonna unbox this right now and play some games with it for the first time. And it's a PNY version of the GPU is because it was on sale for like $100 and I decided to just get it, you know. So yeah, that's why it's a PNY. But yeah, let's see how this is gonna perform with the i5-12400F system. I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, why am I pairing this up with the i5-12400F? Well, I know a lot of you are also curious to see how this thing is gonna be if you pair it up with a mid-range system like an i5, you know, from the 12th gen, and with 32 GB of DDR4 memory. So yeah, this is for them. It's like if you're gonna try to upgrade your GPU from a mid-tier system to see how 5070 is gonna hold up on that thing. Mostly on 1440p because on 1080p it's not gonna be that great, especially if you're using some upscaling and all of that. Yeah, it's gonna be a bottleneck, but on 1440p, if you're maxing probably everything out, it should be fine. So it's gonna be interesting. I will be testing this out on my 9800X3 system afterwards, maybe in the coming days, but for now, for the unboxing experience, I'm just gonna stick it to the 12400F. So yeah, that's enough for me blabbering about. So let's unbox this thing and see how it's gonna perform. Alright, I gotta finish unboxing this before the sun goes down. So I'm not gonna do a lot of talking here. So this is the typical unboxing experience on the 5070. If you have the PNY version. So I'm gonna unbox it right now. Alright, the plastic is off. And there it is, pretty much. Okay, so this is the user's manual from Nvidia, okay. Alright, quick install guide. I don't know if you guys want to see that or not, but here it is. And here is the GPU, and also the 16-pin connector, which I won't be using because I have a separate one from Corsair, you know. So this is the GPU, and that's pretty much it. Just a small little quick guide, and then the connector, and that's it. Some styrofoam, and the actual GPU, PNY. It's a stealth version, so it's like pure black, which I like. Electrostatic sensitive devices, okay. Just open it like that, and take that baby out. There it is. Looking pretty clean, hey? I like that fan design, you know what I mean? Okay, so now I gotta peel it off and we should be good to go. Yeah, there it is. That's the tip. And there's the connector, which I hate. Well, it won't be like, you know, too much for this thing because it's doesn't draw that much power as a 5090 or 5080, so should be good. So let me just peel off the plastic, which I'm terrible at. If you're here for an ASMR experience, I'm really sorry. I'm not that guy, okay? Just trying to find a tearing point and then rip it off. Come on, dude. Shit, almost tipped over the phone. So yeah, I am sorry if I offend you guys with this terrible ASMR. But that's one plastic peeled off. And I'm sorry for the lighting. It's almost sunset, so I'm gonna make it as quick as possible. I don't have a lighting setup to, you know, set up different lights on all sides, like a high production stuff. So yeah, I'm trying my best, man. The back plate off. And then here you go. This is the protection on the PCIe slot. And there are these input protection as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs. So 3 DPI and 1 HDMI, which is pretty typical for a card like this anyways. So there it is. That's the entire GPU on its own. It's pretty clean, I'm not gonna lie. I like it. It's pretty lightweight as well. So GeForce RTX 5070 PNY. I'm expecting really good thermals from this because, you know, it's a 3-fan design. Should be pretty good. So let's see. This is gonna be my first PNY card experience as well. So do not disappoint me, PNY. I've heard good stories about you. It's also a cheap version. So yeah, I'm having really high hopes for this. So now let's plug this into the PC and see how it can run games. This is my test bench on the i5 12400F. So the 9060 XT 16GB is connected right now. The Asus primers, I'm gonna take that out and pop in the 5070. Oops, forgot to turn off the power supply. There you go. And that's why the red light came on. So make sure, like, whenever you're like removing a GPU or anything, make sure the power is turned off, okay? Don't make the mistake that I just did. Sometimes I'd make that mistake because, you know, I swap GPUs very often for the benchmarks and stuff, so that's why. I'm gonna lift that little lock over there and it should come off. There it is. So this is the 9060 XT 16GB. Just for a comparison, there it is, the 5070 and the 9760 XT. Side by side, pretty similar in size, okay? They look kind of similar too, except that there's the white stripes on the 9060 XT. I think this one is a little bit smaller than that, but yeah, they're like pretty much similar in thickness too. 2.5 size. You guys get the idea. If you guys want to see a 9060 XT versus the 5070 comparison and stuff, let me know in the comments, okay? I'm gonna put that in there. Okay, it's in. I'm gonna put the screws back in. Just make sure it's nice and firm. That looks pretty good to me. And the 12-pin connector that came with the power supply. So if you buy these 1000 RM1000X power supplies from Corsair, they're inbuilt. They come with the newer version, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to use the cable that comes with the GPU. They're pretty much trash. So these are like way easy and way more flexible. So just pop that in. And that's it. Just make sure it's all the way in, alright? And that's it. So now, let me connect the HDMI to my capture card and start playing some games. Oh yeah, before that I gotta install all the drivers and stuff, so yeah, I'll be right there. And there it is, it's working. The fans are revving up and all of that. And the PC has booted too, so there it is, we're on the desktop. Now I gotta install all the drivers and I'll be right back. Alright, so now we have everything installed. You can see the GPU-Z, we have the 5070 PNY edition. Okay, 12 GB of VRAM and everything. The details right here. And PCIe 16.5. Okay, paired up with the i5 12400F and 32 GB of DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz. And the latest NVIDIA driver 610.62. Nothing is overclocked. You can see everything is base speeds. So I'll jump into like a few games and see how it performs on 1440p. More in-depth benchmarks will be on the channels pretty soon, so stay tuned for all of that. Alright, so the first game is going to be Crimson Desert, and it's the latest version, 1.13. There's been a lot of updates, so just for the sake of it, I'm going to keep it on DLAA. I'm going to use no frame gen. I'm going to start off with everything cranked out to the max and see the native performance. That's how I usually test things in this channel if you're new here on all the GPUs. I'm going to go to the graphics settings. I'm going to keep it to cinematic, okay? And everything is turned up to the max. Alright, so now that's out of the way, let's play the game. Okay, so everything maxed out. You can see we are getting 30 FPS on 1440p. Only using about 8.5 GB of VRAM. And the temperatures are kind of high. It's 65 degrees Celsius, and you guys saw the tester bench, it's open. So I think, yeah, the thermals on this thing are not that great, guys. It's like almost 70%, even in a test bench which is open. There's no case. So yeah, the thermals might be a little too much, more than I expected, you know. I mean, higher than I expected. But the performance, man, 32 FPS here, it is doing pretty all right. 31, and again, with the ray reconstruction, it's going to be really intensive. So I can't say anything about it. 72 milliseconds, it is kind of crazy. So we definitely need to turn it off and see how that's going to be. Okay, so once we hit the ground, that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, almost killed myself, but yeah, on the floor, you can see we are getting 24 FPS, which is pretty terrible. All right, and you're using 223 watts of power, so it is still a power hungry card, kind of. Not as power hungry as a 3080 Ti, that's for sure, but yeah, it's kind of intensive, guys. So I'm gonna use, I'm just gonna turn it off and see how that's gonna be. Native settings will get you to 53 FPS, okay. That's way better. 46. It's actually pretty good, guys. 52, okay. It's pretty good. Better than I expected. What the hell? These guys are enemies? I didn't even know that. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, good time to, you know, test out some performance. Alright, 51 FPS, guys, so pretty good. So he's dead. Alright, it actually felt pretty good, guys. So it's fully maxed out. You can see the 100% usage. So with these settings, it is kind of playable. So if I go to quality mode, without any ray regeneration, I mean ray reconstruction, yeah, it's gonna be a playable experience. Now we're getting 68 FPS, 70 FPS, pretty good. So I'd say this is gonna be the best way to play the game on this GPU. I don't know, man. I will definitely be making a in-depth benchmark later on, but for this video, I'm gonna keep it short. So yeah, this looks pretty great. And just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna enable some frame gen as well, because why not? I'm gonna enable frame gen and go to 6x, because why the hell not? It gets you to 200 FPS, 250 FPS with 63 milliseconds latency, which is kind of noticeable, even on a controller. It is slightly delayed, and it is upscaled from 42 FPS, which is kind of terrible, you know. So 260 FPS is possible on pretty much cinematic settings without ray reconstruction, but yeah, the delay is slightly noticeable. But yeah, I think you guys get an idea. It's going to be really playable. A little bit of upscaling and frame gen. Let's move on to the next game. So far, pretty good on Crimson Desert. Okay, so next up we got Forza Horizon 6, starting off on 1440p native DLA. You can see DLA is turned on, so no frame gen, okay? I don't think we need frame gen for this game anyways. So we're gonna start it off on extreme settings. Alright, and like I said, you don't need any frame gen or anything. You can get 90 FPS inside the city instantly, so that's pretty good. And there goes my clean car. I just slammed into a SUV. Ooh, that was a major stutter right there. And I'm not gonna doubt that, you know, it's just warming up. The first time ever booting this game up on this thing, so I'll give it a little slack. And right now we are like, wow, GPU, it's not GPU bound, we're like actually CPU bound. Look at the CPU usage, 90%. Okay, that's strange. The GPU's only been used 75%. Okay, so this game is actually really CPU heavy if you're not cranking everything to the max. Okay, in that case I'm gonna use some ray tracing. So okay, that's interesting to see. Even on native 1440p, it's relying heavily on the CPU. I'm gonna go extreme RT then. And that kind of looks weird. Maybe it takes some time to load everything. And there it is. Okay, now it's loaded up, but that was kind of weird. But yeah, now you can see the GPU usage went up to 97%. Now we're getting only 54 FPS. Okay, and 83 milliseconds latency is kind of terrible, but again, it's a racing game. Not a big deal actually. 54 FPS. So with a little bit of upscaling, we should be able to play this game pretty well. All right, 51. So yeah, on native 1440p, this is kind of intensive for the little 5070 on 1440p. Again, still pretty impressive. I'm gonna go here and turn on some upscaling and use quality mode. All right, and that should get us to 68 FPS, and now is way more playable. But again, I think it's gonna still drop down into the 60s or maybe 50s. I don't know, but for the most part, man, this is really playable. especially with DLSS 4.5. This is super smooth. For a racing game, this is more than enough. You don't need more than 60 FPS anyways. You're getting more than 70 FPS and stuff, so yeah. Pretty great experience on Forza Horizon 6. Again, it's a really well optimized game. And right now it's like dropping into the 50s, okay. And again, it wouldn't be a problem for me, but if you want consistent 60, then you might need to use some frame gen as well. I'm gonna turn it down to, I have 2x frame gen, so that should be enough. And now it's upscaled from 57 to 122. Pretty solid. With 15 milliseconds latency, I don't see any artifacting. And now it's giving me the low memory warning. Okay. So guys, I'd say it's better to just keep it to extreme RT. Actually, no, not extreme RT. Freaking extreme settings, but then if you're just extreme settings without using ray tracing, it's not going to utilize the GPU as much as it should. It's going to be completely CPU bound like we just saw. I'd say, man, just keep it on ray tracing, extreme RT, and use these settings. Should be totally fine. The warning message should go away in like, it's probably going to be a one-time thing, you know, so just ignore it and play the game. It's not going to be any issues. I don't think it's going to crash or anything. It's going to be pretty playable, so yeah. Forza Horizon 6, totally playable, guys. Now let's move on to the next game. Alright, so next up we got Resident Evil Requiem, and I'm starting it off on 1440p, and path tracing, everything is maxed out. That's the usual. Nothing overclocked, I mean, no upscaling or anything, just maxed out native settings, DLA, no ray tracing, I mean, no frame gen or any of that stuff, okay? So let's see, man, let's see the pure brute force of this thing. 26 FPS, that's all you get in here. And again, this changes depending on the area you're in the game. This is a really intensive area to showcase. 25 FPS, guys, that's you can get. That's all you can get with the 5070 if you max out Resident Evil Requiem. Okay, that's good to know, you know. 81 millisecond latency though, that's pretty terrible. Not playable whatsoever, but again, expected. So what I'm going to do is go to some upscaling. I'm going to use some balance mode, and maybe a little bit of frame gen as well on top of that. Should be enough for us to get to a playable experience. 54, still upscaled from 28, so not really the type of experience I was looking for, because this is still pretty terrible with path tracing. So if you disable path tracing, it should be like smooth as butter, but with path tracing, man, it is going to be really kind of intensive. So these settings, yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Even with frame gen, it's going to be really tough to run it. Yeah, you definitely need at least 16 GB of VRAM to make this thing playable. So right now we are like VRAM bottleneck pretty much. Even if you go to performance mode, it might be a little bit before it kicks in all the settings. I might even need to restart the game to actually make it playable. So right now it says 35 FPS, so it's definitely leaking the memory, and I need to restart the game. But yeah, even with those settings, man, it's not going to be as playable as you think it is. So with path tracing, it's going to be really rough, okay? I'm just going to restart the game. And there it is. Now we can get 103 FPS now that everything is refreshed. And it's good to go. Now you can get 106 FPS, guys. So on performance mode, it is kind of playable. With 54 millisecond latency, it is actually not that bad with 2x frame gen, guys. So yeah, you can actually make it work with path tracing. Just need some heavy lifting from DLSS technology. So, but even then, you can see it's pretty stuttery. So keeping path tracing off should be the best idea here, because this is not smooth as you think it is. See that? So yeah, guys, that'll be it for Resident Evil Requiem. And again, I might be doing a in-depth benchmark later on, but for now, should give you guys a good idea. Alright, so next one we're gonna play Battlefield 6. Alright guys, so you can see we are on 1440p. I'm gonna use custom settings here, but it's like enable DLAA, DLSS 4, and no upscaling or no frame gen. Usually I don't use any frame gen for multiplayer games, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna keep the graphic qualities to maybe ultra. Let's just keep it on ultra and see how it goes, okay? So 1440p native ultra, see how the game works on Conquest. Alright, I haven't seen this map in a minute, so even with ultra settings, man, you can play the game on 90 FPS, so that's actually pretty good. And again, this game is really CPU intensive. even on native settings of 1440p, you can see 85% used on the 12400F. So that's insane. So it's like both GPU and CPU intensive. So it's better to just keep it like this. Don't even need to use any upscaling. Just keep it to as much as, you know, GPU bound as possible, which is going to be using high to ultra settings. Overkill might be a little too much, but yeah, ultra settings should be the best way to play it. Yeah. No way. He 98. No way. Man, I haven't played this game in a long time, and it shows. Just dying a lot.
Need a medic.
Is there a medic? Everybody is just coming in and dying one by one. So, not a good look, guys. And again, it's fine. I'm just playing this for the benchmark. After that, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna sit up here and play the whole game. But yeah, getting 95 FPS. I think this is the best way to play it. You don't need to use any upscaling or any of that stuff. If you guys wanna see an in-depth benchmark on the game, you can do that too. Maybe I will do it. You know, when they bring the new server, like the server browser feature and all of that on season 5, I guess. I'll make an in-depth video on it, but for now. Oh my god, that's a lot of... Oh, I got a kill. Got a grenade kill, but yeah. Kill is a kill, man. So you guys see, that's Battlefield 6. It runs pretty well. You don't need to use any upscaling, because if you use upscaling, it's gonna make it even more CPU heavy, so you don't want that. Just keep it to native settings. It's really playable, even with this mid-tier CPU. So now let's move on to the final game for this benchmark unboxing video. And finally, we got Cyberpunk. Come on. You know, it's unavoidable, especially on an NVIDIA GPU. So here it is, 1440p with NVIDIA DLAA, transformer model, and actually path tracing. So ray tracing overdrive, you can see no frame gen. Path tracing is on, and it's psycho reflections too. So there it is. Everything cranked out to the max. You can get 28 FPS, which is again pretty impressive for a 12 GB card. I was not expecting this at all, but it is gonna be pretty stuttery. You know, because VRAM bottleneck. Obviously, you can see we're using 12 GB. Now it's dropping down into the 12 and 13 FPS category, which is pretty terrible. So yeah, path tracing is not going to be possible, definitely on native settings, which was obvious anyway. So I'm just gonna use balance mode and maybe go for some frame gen to 2x. Well, that should fix it. Yeah, that gets you to 74 FPS. Okay, 87 FPS upscale from 44, which is again not terrible, but you can see the latency is at 78, so it is noticeable. You know, the input lag is pretty noticeable, and it does get blurry if you move around the mouse a little too much. So that's there, definitely there. But overall, man, it is kind of playable on these settings on path tracing. So if you want to play this game on path tracing on 1440p, it's kind of playable. But again, you're gonna have to deal with the latency, which is not that enjoyable. You can definitely feel the lag. But yeah, it's gonna be really intensive because it's, you know, it's path tracing as you expect. So yeah, that's the only issue right here. And again, we are pairing it up with the i5-12500F, which is a mid-tier GPU, mid-tier CPU. If you pair it up with anything that has an X3D chip in it, then it's gonna be way better. I mean, X3D Vcache in it. It's gonna be much better than this. You can easily get 100 plus FPS. So yeah, that's the only downside when you pair it up with these, you know, mid to low tier CPUs. You're gonna be severely bottlenecked, especially when you use upscaling or on lower resolution. So, but again, not bad at all. It is really playable. Cyberpunk and all the games that we tested so far are playable, but it could be better if you pair it up with a better CPU, obviously. So yeah, man, I think that's a good way to end the video. So that's the RTX 5070. I think this video is going to be way too long anyways. You guys get the idea. I will be definitely doing more benchmarks, GPU and game focused benchmarks in the future. So stay tuned for all of that. And hope you guys find this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more benchmarks. I will catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy and peace out.